इतिहास का मैं आईना हूं, तहजीब का रंग सुनहरा हूं। गंगा जमुना मेरी आंखें, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा। मैं कल भी था, मैं आज भी हूं, मैं नवयुग का अंदाज भी हूं। सारी दुनिया का घर मुझ में, इस मिट्टी का आदर मुझ में। मैं देशभक्त भी गहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं। मैं बेटी की मुस्कान में हूं, मैं नारी के सम्मान में हूं। मैं बेटी की मुस्कान में हूं, मैं नारी के सम्मान में हूं। विज्ञान में और किसान में हूं, हर वीर में और जवान में हूं। मैं सीमाओं का पहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं। अब चांद पे पांव जमाना है, सूरज से आंख मिलाना है। एक नया सवेरा लाना है, संकल्प नया दोहराना है। न ठहरा था, न ठहरा हूं, न ठहरा था, न ठहरा हूं। मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं।
Good morning, namaste, and a big hello to my tribe, the vibrant, unstoppable, ever-creating world of artists and event professionals turning in today from across the country. I am celebrity MC and TV India's Next Top Model, proud EEMA member, and your host for this exceptional live event, Akriti Anand. And it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to Climbing the Social Ladder, an exclusive upskilling series brought to you by none other than the EEMA Artist Committee, dedicated to empowering the artist community across India. But before we dive in, let me state that this isn't just a webinar. It is a part of a much larger movement, a movement to upskill, empower, and unite the vibrant artist community in our country. What we are building here isn't just a calendar of sessions. It's a culture of growth, a space where artists from all regions, backgrounds, and genres can connect, evolve, and rise together. First up, a massive shout out to the visionaries at EEMA who have curated the session and many more like it. So if you're not a member of EEMA yet, you're seriously missing out because here you're not just another name. You're a part of a tribe that celebrates your voice. If you're a performer, a host, a singer, a magician, dancer, or an event planner, or someone who simply is passionate about the live events, EEMA is for you. So this is your sign. Join EEMA, learn, grow, collaborate, and be a part of India's most powerful event tribe. Now, coming to today's hot topic, social media for artists, or as I would like to call it, how not to be invisible in 2025. Let's be honest, in our industry, perception is reality. Social media isn't just a place to post, it's a place to position. It's not just a highlight reel, it is your digital stage. There is a quote that I deeply love from someone who has been the lighthouse for so many of us in the live space. Gitika Ganjudhar once said that social media is not just a tool. It is your most powerful stage when you are not on stage. Mic drop. So today, my friends, is not about filters or followers. It's about figuring out how to own your narrative in a world that's scrolling fast. Legendary Gary Vaynerchuk once said that if you are not producing content, you don't exist. And in the world of events, let me remix that a little. If you're not being seen, you're not being booked. Because the harsh truth is, talent alone is not enough anymore. Your reach, your content, your engagement, they are all a part of your brand. And in today's digital first world, your brand is your business. You could be the best singer in the city, the most engaging MC, the most magical magician. But if people are not seeing you, if you're not showing up on their feed, you are out of sight, out of mind, and out of bookings. Now, let me flip that coin for a second. What's stopping people? Why don't artists go all out on social media? Well, here are some of the things that I keep hearing. Somebody would say, Yar, I don't have time. Or I feel awkward talking to the camera. Or I don't know what to post. I don't want to come across as fake. Sounds familiar? Well, here's the real kicker. The cost of not showing up online is irrelevance. While you're waiting for that perfect content, someone less talented but more visible is getting your gig. Visibility beats ability every single time. Social media is not about being fake. It's about being findable. It's not about filters. It's about frequency and authenticity. It's not about bragging. It's about branding. Let me ask you this. What does someone see when they Google your name? Your Instagram profile is like your portfolio. Your LinkedIn for your credibility. Your YouTube or Reels as your show reel, and your story is your voice. And if you're not actively using these tools, you are letting silence shape your identity. And for those of you who say that I'm an artist, I shouldn't have to promote myself, well, newsflash, even Mona Lisa needs a spotlight to be seen. So, what's today all about? It's about giving you practical, real-world tools to climb that social ladder. One post, one reel, one connection at a time. And speaking of connections, let's first up do a quick interactive activity right now. Everyone who's watching, my dear friends, I request you to get your phone, open up your Instagram story, click a picture of you attending this session, and describe yourself, your artist brand or your company in just 3 words and post it with the tag EEMA.India. But first, let me tell you how to describe yourself. You can describe saying that you're high energy, relatable, and impactable, or elegant, bilingual, versatile, or maybe you can say that you're masaledar, musical, and masaledar again. Well, just figure out your 3 words. Go on your Instagram, click a picture of this session, write these 3 words and post it now, tagging @EEMA.India. You can also use the hashtag EEMA Artist Committee, and we will pick a few of you to give a shout out on our page. I personally would love to see these posts. So if you like, you can also tag me using my handle, which is Akriti Anand Official on Instagram. Let me give you 10 seconds to do it. Quickly, guys. Don't think too much. Just pick the top 3 words that come to your mind that describes the best of you and put it out there. All right, fam. Now that you have done that activity, are you all ready to dive deep into how the top names of our industry are using social media to build authority, influence, and income? But first up, we have a powerhouse panel, some of the brightest digital minds, along with industry leaders who are going to spill the tea, the truth, and the trade secrets. A gentle nudge to all our senior voices present here today. Be real, be candid. We want to know what works, and more importantly, what does not work. Because our audience deserve the truth, not just filters and hashtags. So, my dear friends, buckle up. This is not just a session, it is a wake-up call. It's time to climb that ladder because in today's world, your next gig, your next brand deal, and your next big moment might just be one post away. Let's begin. To kick things off, let me first bring up someone who is not just a voice in the community, but a force behind its growth, especially in the southern region of India. He's a man whose efforts have single-handedly expanded the EEMA Artist Committee in the South, building bridges, connecting talent, and consistently pushing the boundary for what artists can achieve when we all stand together, united. A leader who doesn't just represent the community, he builds it. Please welcome the Vice President, South EEMA, the ever-dynamic and ever-driven, Mr. D.V. Vinod. Welcome, sir. How are you? The mic is all yours. Please inspire us.
Thank you, Akriti. I think you're very sweet. Thanks for all those generous words. I've posted, okay? I've taken my first pic and posted in Insta.
Great.
South has become very strong with reference to art, with reference to lots of artists. Before 3 years, we didn't have even one artist who was an active member. Today, we have 33 artists from South who are active. All credit goes to the artists from South because they have been talking about the advantages of EEMA in various forums, and they have got lots of new members. So thanks to all the artists from South, and especially all the artists from other parts of India also. I think we've there are 2-3 artists from Bangalore who joined because one of the artists in Bombay was talking about EEMA to them. So thank you. Thanks to all of you for making the artist community very large and strong in EEMA. So big thanks to Amit, Nikhil, Rahi, and Natasha for sparing your time and for coming online to educate all of us. Very soon, I think we will be changing all our names. I'll not be, I think even I was having a conversation with one of the EEMA Platinum members, Siddesh. So we were discussing saying that we need to change our designation from CEO to Chief Learning Officer. I think even we as event managers, I think the best example is our president, Samit. He has been attending various experiential conferences to learn new things. So upskilling, learning is the need of the hour. All of us need to spend more time. And thank you, Gitika, for arranging this meet, and even the artist committee for arranging this sort of workshops. Very happy to know that people have paid and registered for this workshop because anything which comes free, people don't take it serious. I'm very sure the next 1.5, 2 hours, you people are going to learn a lot of things and you're going to implement these things also. 3 points I would like to mention here. Number 1, EEMA has become very, very strong now, thanks to each one of you. Let's make it much stronger. So safety, security briefing by the MCs before the event will be of great help. So I know that event managers will have lots of last moment tensions running around, but if you can just voice out and show them the emergency exits or small safety briefing before an event, it will be of great help. So that's request number 1. Number 2 is very interesting one. I think lots of people have joined EEMA. They were asking us saying that they're yet to get business from EEMA. This is like me paying money in a gym and still waiting. My weight is not yet reduced because I've already paid money in the gym. That doesn't mean that I'm fit now. I need to go work out there. In the same way, once you become an EEMA member, you need to upskill, you need to network. Okay. interesting facts are, especially in South, we have a big problem. The MCs need to understand 4-5 language. They need to speak 4 languages, 5 languages, right? So learning one new word a day in 52 weeks, you can even handle either a Kannada or Malayalam or Telugu, Hindi. Okay, so learning is very essential for the artist right now. So please take it very serious. And on behalf of NEC, we assure you that lots of other programs are also going to happen. We have Imagine coming up on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd August at Udaipur. Do register. We're going to have separate learning sessions for all the artists there. And now that I spoke about Imagine, Imagine is what is the largest event congregation, and what it's a BAP of all the events is what we make fun out of it. Okay, so do come, do register yourself for Imagine, and please come and network at Imagine. One more suggestion is we see all the artists are always together. Good to see all the artists together. But in an event like Imagine, make use of the forum. We're expecting 750 plus. So you have 600, 700 event managers there. Just go click a selfie, talk to them, get introduced, and make use of the platform. And we want to see each one of you shining and do more events across India. And last but not the last point, which I would like to mention. EEMA Artist Committee has taken lots of pains in organizing these events. So support them, write about them in all the social media handles. We as a community should grow together. Okay? So whenever you all meet, for example, this particular event, tell the whole world that even you people are upskilling. Okay, tell the whole world that you're attending workshops. That makes your brand image better, because the entire community, the customer, the clients, most of our clients, they follow you all on Insta and Facebook. Let them also know that the MCs are also working very hard to upskill themselves. Okay, so that's it, Akriti, and over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very sweet and a warm welcome address from you. I love the gym analogy, and I think everyone who's watching is all geared up to be a part of Imagine in August, and we're all very excited for it. So guys, see you there. And now that we have all warmed up, it's time to hear from someone who has not just witnessed the evolution of our industry, but has also been a key player in shaping it. She is the name that commands both respect and relevance in every green room, boardroom, and ballroom across India, with over 25 years of emceeing experience. A woman who has given a voice quite literally to brands, causes, and conversations that matter. She is not just an anchor, she's an artist, a thinker, a mentor, and most importantly, a trailblazer who continues to lead by example. It gives me immense pride to welcome the chair of EEMA Artist Committee, the soul behind this very upskilling initiative, and someone I personally admire. Please put our hands together, of course virtually, for the iconic Gitika Ganjudhar. Welcome, Gitika.
Namaste. I'd like to begin my short speech by thanking the Indian Defence Forces, the head of state, the Government of India, the administration of India, for navigating all of our citizens through some extremely critical times in the weeks gone by. Thank you, dhanyavad, gratitude, Jai Hind. Friends, business must continue as usual. That is our dharma, that is our karma, and here we are. And what better business than to learn and upskill. Mujhe yaad hai, when I was based in Delhi as a MC, in the hot summer months, business would dwindle in those days. The volumes of work would go down. And I would often think, what can I do to spend my time, invest it properly, to upskill myself. So in those days, I remember such programs and such sessions were not very easily available, but things have changed. We are the EEMA Artist Committee. We are very happy to bring to you a whole new upskilling series. Not one, not two, but 6 different sessions on varied topics. Right from how to use social media to further your brand within the live industry, how to manage your time for success, how to do appropriate makeup for a particular kind of show, how to negotiate a good deal, and many more such sessions. I hope all of you take full advantage, register and log in for each one of these sessions. This is not just for artists, event managers, talent managers. You could join too. मुझे बचपन में याद है एक श्लोक पढ़ा था मैंने, विद्या ददाति विनयम विनयादयाति पात्रताम, which essentially means that knowledge brings humility and humility brings character. And character, I feel, is the prerequisite for a fine live artist. And character is achieved only through knowledge, learning, upskilling and refinement. I urge all of you to indulge completely in our new upskilling series from the EEMA Artist Committee. But before I hand this back to the MC of today's event, I'd like to introduce to you 3 EEMA Artist Brand Ambassadors. All of these 3, coincidentally, are ladies, and they have, over the last year and a half, worked closely with me on different initiatives. And they've done so silently, quietly, without the want of acknowledgement or public spotlight. This itself is the essence of the EEMA spirit. And today, I'm very happy to introduce them to all of you as the EEMA Artist Ambassadors, who will work with me in close tandem on various initiatives. They are not a part of the EEMA Artist Committee. They are EEMA Ambassadors for Artists. And in the days ahead, in the months ahead, I hope that more of you will raise your hand and offer selfless service and join us as EEMA Ambassadors. Please put your hands together, even if virtually, for all 3 of them. Very soon, the backend team will project the creative that will show you who they are. All the 3 of you, I'm full of gratitude for your solid partnership that I've received. Amrita Joshi, my member from the West, Swati Sharma, my member from the North, and Arpita Chaudhary, my artist member from the East. Welcome as EEMA Artist Ambassadors.
Thank you so much, Gitika, for that heartfelt address. Every time you speak, you don't just share knowledge, you actually spark a movement. And now, my dear friends, it's time. We have a message from EEMA Artist Ambassador, as Gitika was talking about, and MC, Arpita Chaudhary. Arpita, welcome. The screen is all yours.
Hello, Namaskar. I am Arpita Chaudhary, and I'm proud to serve as the EEMA Artist Ambassador. Thank you so much, Akriti, for the introduction. And I'll also like to thank Gitika ma'am for a wonderful introduction. So it's an honor to speak before you today on behalf of the chair of the EEMA Artist Committee, Mrs. Gitika Ganjudhar. I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our visionary president, Mr. Samit Garg, for his remarkable commitment to inclusivity at this year's Spotlight Awards by celebrating the silent heroes of our event industry, those who work tirelessly behind the scenes to bring our vision to life. I also want to take a moment to express our deepest appreciation to the entire EEMA Secretariat led by the exceptional team of Preeti Khanna ji, Khyati, Tushar and Rimi. Your unwavering support and dedication have been instrumental in empowering the Artist Committee to thrive and deliver impactful initiatives like this. And before we move ahead, a special thank you in advance to Akriti for stepping up to host the event with your vibrant energy, and to Natasha for coming forward to moderate the panel. To our esteemed panelists, Rahi and Amit, thank you so much for contributing your time and expertise to the workshop, which I'm sure will enrich all of us. And to Nikhil, our expert, thank you so much for stepping up to lead the workshop and sharing your invaluable insights, which we eagerly anticipate. And I'm sure that everybody is very excited for it. So now to my lovely audience present here today, and our team, let me tell you that our team has invested a significant amount of time and effort in curating these sessions to ensure they deliver meaningful insights and practical knowledge. to help us continue improving and tailoring these workshops to your needs. We would greatly appreciate your feedback. I will share a feedback form in our WhatsApp group shortly. Kindly take a moment to share your thoughts and let us know how these workshops are benefiting for you. Do remember your input is actually very invaluable to us. So that's it from my side. Over to you, Akriti.
Thank you so much, Arpita. And let me say, it is indeed my pleasure to be a part of EEMA Upskilling series. It is my small way to contribute back to the entire community of EEMA artists. Up next, coming up, is the expert session with Nikhil Pohekar on how artists can develop their social media presence and expand their personal brand. Nikhil is someone who quite literally lives and breathes digital strategies. He is not just scrolling through trends, he's shaping narratives that drive elections, build brands, and influence cultures. A social media strategist, political communication expert, public policy consultant, angel investor, and yes, he still have time to breathe. He is the brain behind Overhead Communications, the founder of Agni and trusted advisor to Fortune 500s, governments, and high growth startups alike. He's here to give you the raw truth and real tools to elevate your digital game as an artist and show you how influence is engineered, not stumbled upon. So let's give a warm welcome to the brilliant, the bold, and brutally honest Nikhil Pohekar. Nikhil, welcome. The screen is all yours.
Thank you so much, Akriti, for generous and kind words that you used. Some of them felt inflated, but nonetheless, I will take them as compliments and I will start the session. First of all, thank you very much, guys, for having me. It's a great honor and pleasure to be here. I would start off by thanking EEMA, EEMA Artist Committee, Mr. Samit Garg, Mrs. Kritika Ganjudhar, who requested me to be here. And it's a pleasure and genuinely an honor to sit among such an esteemed panel as well as address such a enriched community. I'll directly do a dive in for lack of time. We want to rush and we don't want to keep people waiting. I was told the topic to be used is how does an artist in the live event community set up their own social media handles? How do they leverage it better? How do they go about making sure that they meet growth? Now I have a PPT here, which I'm going to start, and we'll try and keep this very, very interactive. I don't want it to be a mono session where I keep on speaking. So please jot down your questions at the end of the session. We'll go around and take a lot of questions if you have any. And at all times, I will drop in my contact details later on as well in the chat, which you can reach out to me if you have a doubt that comes in later on as well. I hope my screen is visible. I would like to do a quick check with the tech team here at the back. Yes. Yeah. So going with the heading, climbing the social ladder, we'll go ahead and deep dive quickly. Now I've broken down this session or my PPT for this session into 4 parts. One is the need. Why do we need social media? Again, impressing. I'm sure people present here already know the need. Why is it important? That's why you guys are attending the session. But nonetheless, to brush up certain things, what is the core idea behind having this particular tool in our kit? Third and most important is the execution. How do you execute it with minimal resources and maximum impact? And last is the amplification. How do you make sure that if once you've created the presence, how does it go in the next gear? How does it grow in a very, very structured manner? So if I have to tell you a takeaway of this entire session, for me is to help you generate a blueprint of creating a meaningful presence online that's growth led and sustainable. Both things are very important. It has to give you guys growth, also has to give you guys a sustainable way of maintaining that presence, right? So let's look at some one slide. Largely, I am a person who believes in positivity, who believes in optimism. But I think the way to optimism is to weed out the negatives to begin with. So current landscape and the reality of most of our professionals in the event artist sector is this particular slide, right? And it's a maybe there are some few glorious exceptions, but generally all the profiles of all the artists that I have seen, 90% of them are like a headless chicken. They don't know what they're doing, right? There's a cluttered presence. जैसे मैंने किसी आर्टिस्ट की कोई प्रोफाइल देख ली, उसने किसी कंटेंट के बारे में लिखा है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल उसने गेट रेडी विथ मी का वीडियो बनाया, तो मैंने आज गेट रेडी विथ मी का वीडियो बना लिया. परसों किसी ने गाने के ऊपर ट्रेंड का एक रील बना दिया, तो मैंने आज गाने के ट्रेंड की रील बना दी, क्योंकि उसको 10,000 लाइक्स आ गए. There's a very randomness to people who are already present and what they are doing, right? But these people are still better. And you'll ask me, why am I saying this? Because there are a lot of people who don't even have that much work put on the social media. They're not even putting out that copycat reels. They're not even putting out unstrategic content. They're not putting out anything. They're coming there and consuming. And the worst of the lot are the ones that Akriti initially referred to, saying that humko kya zarurat hai? I'm an artist, I'm a purist. It's like saying I start a business and I don't need an office. It's like saying I'm an artist and I don't need a stage. Projecting is extremely important for anybody who wants to reach out to a mass audience without having a stage, without having a reach out to your audience in the non-performance time. In this day and age, you cannot grow. You cannot have an impact of your performances. You cannot hope to be discovered, which is my most important aspect, which I'll move on to in the next couple of slides. There is no strategy behind posting, like I said. Randomly, without any content strategy, we're just posting stuff that may not align with our profile, may not align with the way we are putting out, may not align with the platform that we are being on. I think the panel will also take you through how to differentiate between different platforms, how to go about deciding what kind of micro content. What we call micro content is essentially customized content for that particular platform. What generally happens is, now you'd say LinkedIn is also a social media platform, Instagram is also a social media platform, Twitter is also a social media platform, Snapchat, and so on and so forth. But each of them have a distinct identity not just of people, not just of the platform itself, but of the people who are present there. For example, if I have to give you a small nugget, Instagram is largely driven by women. You'd find it surprising. On every other platform, the breakup between men being present on a platform and women being present on a platform is in the ratio of 70 to 30% favoring men. It's only on Instagram that the ratio jumps up to 45% in the favor of women, as per their audience presence and in their engagement presence as well. What does this tell you is essentially that depending on what platform you're posting on, depending on your profile, you'll have to customize your content strategy. You'll have to customize what you're putting out, right? Third, and the most important according to me, is there's no objective definition. You are not defining any objective of your presence online. Are you there just to create buzz? Are you there to grow? Are you there to reach out to other people? Are you there to network? Are you there to do all? And will you ever be able to do all? Are you using specific platforms for specific type of content, right? There is no objective definition. If you don't have an objective, like I said earlier, you'd be like a headless chicken. You'd not know which way you're going, right? In chasing business goals, the philosophical saying of destination is not important, only the journey is, may not suit well, right? I'm again going against conventional wisdom that tells you that journey is more important than destination, but in this case, it's not. You have to finalize a destination and then go about enjoying the journey. Fourth, again, a completely ignored domain is the actionable metrics. How many of us actually go back to our profile, go through our metrics, go through the numbers, see what's happening, and take adequate action according to that? One, most of us don't look at it at all. Even if you do, we don't take any actionables takeaways from it. For example, by actionable metrics or metrics, I don't mean how many likes and comments you got, right? You have to understand what time of the day did you post? What time of the day was your audience extremely active? Did they react to this particular piece of content because you changed the format? By format, I mean, was it a static post? Was it a carousel? Was it a reel? Was it a standard video? Or was it a live? Depending on these changing formats will also change your metrics. Did your content change something? Did your content strategy change something? Did you make your content more humorous? Did you make it more relatable? Did you make it more human? These are your actionable metrics, which will be shown in pure data form. There'll be no biases. Numbers don't lie, like they say, right? But numbers sometimes hide more than they reveal. So one has to be very, very careful as to what our reading from this is and what actionable measures we take according to these numbers. Last, none of us actually chase any actual growth. And growth can be defined in multiple ways, and least of all, followers. You might just have 2,500 followers, unlike, say, somebody who's your competition who has 1 lakh followers, which out of which 95,000 are maybe botted followers. Botted, I mean robotic, non-existent, fake followers, which are available for 10 paisa, 25 paisa, 1 rupee, whatever the swindler can swindle you for. Except for having a vain metric of you looking at your own profile and saying, I have 1 lakh followers, there's absolutely no usage to it. In fact, the platforms like Instagram and Twitter penalize you for having fake followers. They reduce your growth. They don't give you the ample opportunity to put out your organic content out there. So by growth, I least of all mean followers. Followers can be of two kinds, right? Of great value. One is actual number. Somebody who's a genuine celebrity who genuinely has, say, 5 million followers, and that makes a huge difference. Second is qualitative followers. Followers who mean a lot to your industry. For example, I think that works very well on LinkedIn, where maybe you're connected only to event managers, to fellow artists, to people who actually give you work, to brand custodians, so on and so forth. This community might be small in number, but it's a very effective community for somebody like you, right? They're going to get you more gigs, they're going to get you more work, they're going to notice your work, they're going to notice you. So in that sense, you will be benefiting from a small number in a more qualitative setting and a huge number which does not make sense. आपकी भागलपुर की मासी आपको फॉलो कर रही है, या आपके कॉलोनी का अंकल आपको फॉलो कर रहा है, दिस इज अ गुड वेन मेट्रिक व्हेन यू आर अटेंडिंग अ फंक्शन कि मैंने बेटा आपका इंस्टाग्राम वीडियो देखा. देयर इज नो हार्म इफ दे फॉलो यू, ग्रेट, बट दैट्स अ पॉइंटलेस फॉलोवर बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट, राइट? मूविंग ऑन. Now, very quickly, recently everybody has been talking about Coldplay, right? And what a big concert it was, what kind of monies it made. I'm told upwards of 600 crores, so on and so forth. And most of y'all will say that, of course, it was an on-ground event. It did so well. It was experiential, and blah blah blah, all of that, and some great work done by the organizers, right? But there's a very, very important metric that a lot of us have missed out on. For example, Ernst & Young, EY, put out a report which was commissioned by Book My Show, the organizers of the show, and they said that the concert drew 8.3 million views, amassing 165 million minutes of cumulative watch time of live stream. So now, when you're doing concerts, when you're doing live performances, when you're doing art, maybe it's not true for weddings, maybe it's not true for government, maybe it's not true for corporate functions, but for government functions and for big concerts, now digital has become a second stage. So digital and social media becomes even more important, right? These figures are India's most watched concert. Of course, this is the biggest one. Not all our gigs are going to be this big, but I'm trying to present to you a possibility of how digital becomes a second stage for all you artists. Surprisingly, 85% of the views came from smaller cities of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. They did not necessarily come from Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, or Hyderabad. So there's a great audience for you there. How is that audience going to connect with you? They're not going to attend each of your programs that you do in Mumbai, or they're not going to attend all of your programs in Bangalore. These are the guys who are going to connect with you online, who are going to see your content, who in turn may approach you for gigs in these cities, because the disposable income in these cities is huge. For example, Chandigarh and Kolhapur have per capita the highest number of Mercedes in the country. So to think that maybe this is a small city and this may not have a gig, or they may not be able to put out a great show, is not true. Interactive features on these concerts or these live streams have taken the game to another level. The entire point of putting this slide in is to make you understand social media is not just to discover more work. It's not just to build your own brand, but now is going to become a necessity even for live performers, because it's going to be live stream across the platforms, right? If somebody's watching Akriti doing a great gig at a musical concert, the first thing I'm going to do is look her up. I'm either going to look her up on Instagram directly, or I'm going to look her up on the web browser. The moment I put Akriti Anand on the web browser, I am sure the first 10 results, 3 of them are on her social media handles. It will be her Facebook page, it will be her Instagram, it will be her Twitter or her website. So being on digital is imperative for everyone, right? Now, just being present, will that be enough? It may not be, but not being present will be a hierarchy. It's that thing, आप किसी एक पेस्की अंकल होते हैं आपके सबके रिश्तेदारों में, फूफा या चाचा या मामा होते हैं, उनकी बेटी की शादी पे आप मत जाओ तो आपको बहुत ताने मारेंगे। आप चले जाओ तो आपकी तरफ देखेंगे भी नहीं, पर गलती से अगर आपने मिस कर दिया तो आपको ताने मारेंगे। द एंटायर पॉइंट ऑफ टेलिंग यू दिस इज, if you're not present on social media, it's a huge loss. But being present without putting out relevant content may turn out to be useless. And the most important thing, right, while we're speaking to people is, who are we talking to? Do we know our audience? Do we know people who are reading our content, watching our content? According to me, for artists who are in the live space, there are 3 core buckets, audience buckets. One is the event managers. Second is the core audience, that is your final audience which actually comes to the shows, which attends weddings, which is at the political rally, which is at a government function, which is at a corporate audience. And third and most important are your brand and organizations, the actual clients who are paying event managers to get you on board or are directly paying you, right? Now we'll take a close look at each of these buckets over the next 3 slides. First ones being the event managers. These are the guys who are actively looking for you. The guys who have us here today, the most important people, right? They are the one who are putting events together. They are constantly discovering newer talent. They want to keep their budgets minimal. So they're already always going on to newer artists, trying to negotiate with them, trying to bargain with them. Your social media presence is one of the bargaining chips in your negotiation, on the negotiation table with these event managers. If you have a good presence, if you have a decent following, if your content has good engagement, right? You would have 1 lakh fake followers, but आपको 3 like आते हैं, आपको 15 like आते हैं. That clearly tells you that there is no actual engagement happening there. And these guys are the smartest people I know in the world. Event managers are next to politicians when it comes to being smart. They're on their toes, constantly firefighting. They know how to conceptualize big things. They actively are going in for a career which actually should give you a heart attack at least 2 years, every 2 years, right? These are people who are always balancing everything together, with one small thing going wrong and everything can go down the drain. So you can't fool them. The entire point of saying and praising them is you can't fool them. So having an authentic presence in front of people like them is very, very important. These are industry agnostic, right? For example, an event manager who generally does corporate could discover you and you could be a live performer, and he may invite you. He may not be on this. He may invite you for he may recommend you to a friend who's doing weddings, and you could be one of the you could be performing at the Sangeet, at a sundowner in Goa. So they can be industry agnostic, right? You write your experience about a great event that you had at a government organization. Maybe you were hosting an event for, say, the home ministry, and you put out your experience on LinkedIn. The corporate person reading that could actually get you a gig at a wedding or at a corporate show or a stand-up. You are a stand-up comic. He might get you a gig at his annual function. What are they looking for? They're looking for likability. You should not come across as over smart. You should not come across as a spoiled artist. You should not come across as somebody who has too much attitude. across the fields, across all professions and verticals, likability is the most obvious thing and yet the most ignored thing. Have a good, likable persona online. Look at Mostly Sane. Mostly Sane lives next door where I am right now. Used to live next door where I am right now. I have known her since she was in college, right? She brought her own bubbly personality online. Forget the character she did. I'm talking about purely from her Instagram persona. And that likability was not just picked up by the audience, but was also picked up by the industry. And trust me, 25-30% of the reason you get work is because of the people you work with. You have to be promotional friendly. If the brand or the event manager requests you to put out an extra reel, saying that why don't you put out the reel? Why don't you do a collab for us? Your manager or your agency can't be saying no, we'll charge separately for that. No, this is not going to be this. Putting, even if the agency says that, it's a job to say it. You have to put down your foot as an artist and say it's okay for me to do this. I'm doing it for the betterment of the event, right? You'll hear about all great personalities who've done well in life, about Shah Rukh Khan, about Amitabh Bachchan, about Sachin Tendulkar, saying that they were team players, saying that the project was more important for them than their personal lookout. This will make the event manager wanting to work with you again. And this personality can easily be etched out on a social media platform. Second is the core audience. These are your followers, right? People who see your content mostly every day. The reason they're following is because they found something interesting in you. These people are your tribe. These people are like your support system. These people can become the difference between you getting a gig and not getting a gig. These people can make a difference between you getting 100 rupees for a gig or 1,000 rupees for a gig. I'm using imaginary numbers, of course, but these are they like I've written in the slide, right? They are social currency. You're known by how many followers you have. Now, qualitative, quantitative, I've already explained to you. And if your audience is engaged, that's your digital superpower. You might have 1,000 followers, but let's say you're getting 45-50 likes on each of them. That's your digital superpower, right? You're getting 4 and 5 and 10% of engagement rate on each of your posts. Brands will love you. Audience, that means audience already loves you. That's why you're getting the engagement. And then the event managers will also love you. Like I said, it affects your remuneration. It also helps in promotion. Let's say you have 1,000 followers, out of which 100 come from Bangalore, and you're doing a gig in Bangalore, you put out a post saying, hey guys, I'm in Bangalore. Maybe 25 of them may turn up at the event. You've already got a certain portion of your event, of your audience, which is committed to you, which is a loyal base to you, which is coming to the to that show. Last, and like I said, the most important, the brand of the organizations. These are the ultimate custodians of the events, right? They are the people who actually define what kind of event they want, what kind of people they want to be performing at their events, and how do they look out for people whom they like. They actually go online and look for people. For example, I'm planning a Navratri gig in September. Everybody knows the top 5, top 7, top 10 names. My client can't afford that 6 crore rupees pay packet the top artist gets. So I'm looking out for smaller artists, smaller in terms of their remuneration, not in terms of the talent or not in terms of the reach. How am I doing my research? Of course, I'm reaching out to my network. Of course, I'm reaching out to people who are already in the industry, but I'm also looking up online. I'm checking out their performances online. I'm checking out the videos that they put up online. I'm checking out the past gigs that they've done, right? So it's also showcasing your talent. It's a diary. Unlike earlier, where whatever you performed was only for the live audience. Today, via social media, it's everywhere. Anywhere, and everybody knows the kind of backlash a certain singer, I will not name her, got during the Coldplay concert, saying that auto tune pe sahi sunai deti hai, but yahan pe अच्छे से नहीं सुनाई दे रही है. So there is absolutely no way you can escape. Your performance can escape scrutiny. So the more good content you put out online, the better your chances of being discovered. Also, these brands and organizations, I'll give you Mrs. Ganjudhar's example. She is a favorite amongst Indian government programs. She is the favorite among a lot of apex body annual johns that they have abroad. The reason being is the way she conducts herself. So any agency managing that event, the organizers or the brand may ask them to get Mrs. Gitika Ganjudhar as an MC. This is one example of how your direct connect with the audience online can help you discover a brand or can help you discover a continuous relationship with the brands and organizations. Next, moving on. Now, this one slide is one of my favorite slides. I always include these in all my client pitches, in all people that I want to explain digital to. It's a funnel. It's an inverted pyramid. All online engagement, all online content goes through this funnel. The topmost and the widest being awareness. Second being consideration. Third being decision. And last being, and the most premium being, loyalty. Now we'll just run through each of them, what exactly they mean. The words are self-explanatory, but even then, awareness is discovery and profiling. What is Akriti all about? What kind of things Akriti does is what I discovered from her Instagram. She's done great shows with live shows. She's been with MTV. She's a great MC at corporate events. I discovered her through her Instagram, right? Then I profile her as an event manager, as a brand manager, as a organization. And if I am doing this kind of event, this is the kind of MC I want, and I'll reach out to Akriti Anand. So it's the awareness phase. Second is the consideration. Now, once I put her that back in and Navratri event is coming on, we'll just keep on using that example so that I'm able to explain that through. Now, I know Akriti has done a great job at live performances as well. She's done a great job at music gigs as well. So I'm going to do a personal research quickly. Is she good enough to do a 9-day show for me? Will she promote the show properly? Does she have some connects that she can get and help me do better? Right? Second and most important, what kind of social proof is there? Right? What are her clients talking about her online? What is the audience talking about her online? What kind of comments does she get on her social media posts? Do people praise her? Do people hate her? Do people like her? Do people ignore her? Is what I will look up in the consideration phase. Third is the decision phase. This is when I will reach out to her. Most of the times these days, I don't reach out via diaries. I don't have numbers to everybody. I have their WhatsApp details. I reach out to the DM through an Instagram DM. And tell me, people who are present here, they must have done it a zillion number of times. I'm sure Akriti's got great gigs via her online presence and great gigs in her Instagram DM. So by not having an adequate presence online, you're missing out on actual work, actual gigs, paid gigs online. Then there's also a time where you're doing the negotiation, decision part, right? It gives you power, like I said, if you have an engaged audience, if you have a good following, you have qualitative following, it gives you a negotiation bar saying that this is my price, this is what I'm ready to do against this particular price, and this is what I bring to table along with my skill set. You might be a great singer, you might do your professional gig properly on that day, but pre-promotions, we all know how important it is. Engaging with other people, doing collab posts with other artists, with the organization, with the brand, how important that is in terms of reach. For example, yesterday, to promote this event, all of us put out posts on our social media handles to get more people like you. So the number rises so that we reach out to our own network. And post the event happens, in promotion of the event, what all we did, how did it come out, that becomes a social proof for the next session. And last and the most important is the loyalty. Are we engaging with the brands? Are we engaging with the event managers and the audience which attended our gigs? Most people love to connect with the artists whom they've seen, and we have been prabhavit. I don't have a better word for this in English. So prabhavit with that performance. They will write nice things to you on DM. They would love to hear from you. The brands would love to hear from you. You put out a thank you note for them, saying that I had a great time on this particular event. The organizers were great. The event manager was great. It just creates a goodwill for the next one. It's like giving a nice warm hug to a friend you've made on a particular event, and you move on to the next one. And next time there's an opportunity, that human gesture will make sure that you propel in their memory faster than anybody else, right? And last but not the least, it helps you build a long-standing relationship with all the stakeholders present there. Now, this may seem a little simplistic, but I think these 5 R's, I discovered 5 R's before Rajamouli's triple R, RRR. But these are a very, very important pillars, I feel, in terms of while doing everything. So every time you're trying to do a new campaign, you're trying to put out a new content, trying to discover something new, brands, individuals, organizations, startups, anybody, NGOs, they have to keep these 5 R's in their mind, I feel. Whatever doing, does this fit into these 5 R circles? One, does it promote discovery? Will this help you enhance your reach online? If it ticks the box, you move on to the next one. Is it relevant to your audience? Right? If Akriti tomorrow starts talking about public policy, about how waste management is so important for municipal corporations, I don't know how many of our audiences might hear that or listen to it or believe in an expertise. But Akriti does a outfit of the day tomorrow. She talks about how modeling can propel you into a career of MC. People will listen. So your content also has to be relevant to what expert you are and what domain you're operating in. Third is reputation. Is it enhancing your image? Whatever you're doing, whatever you're putting out, is it enhancing your image? Is it getting a bad name? वो कोई हिंदी की कहावत है, बदनाम हुए तो क्या हुआ, नाम तो हुआ. This might be true for certain profiles, but as a professional, I would advise against it. It's better to get on board a little later in life rather than doing it in a hasty manner. Fourth is relation, the one that I referred to in the last bucket. It's driving loyalty between the brands, organizations, and you as a professional. And last is advocates. For example, if I deliver the session properly, maybe Vinod sir will have me speaking at multiple sessions across the south of India whenever he conducts sessions. He will go and tell people that Nikhil is a good speaker. This is creating the advocates. So are you generating enough references? Now, there are certain things which everybody has to do irrespective. These are not how do you say, rocket science ideas, but these are ideas. If you don't do, you're in a problem. First and foremost, be present. Please be present. All of y'all, if you're not already on social media, please create your profiles. Create it across all platforms. Don't say LinkedIn is not for me. Don't say Instagram is not for me. Don't say Twitter is not for me. Twitter पे सब झगड़ा करते हैं, Instagram पे सब show off करते हैं, LinkedIn पे सब ज्ञान देते हैं. All platforms are important for you. And you have to customize what we call micro content for these platforms. Your messaging will remain the same, but delivery will change. See, in today's world, the person who controls the distribution of content rules the roost, right? Next is define the objective. Why are you here? I'm here to connect with my audience. I'm here to grow. I'm here to get more gigs, so on and so forth. Fourth is like most of y'all who are in the singing domain or artist domain, Riyaz. Consistency. You can't post something great in 3 months and then come back after 3 months to post the next one and expect miracles. It may even happen once in a while, but platforms want you to be, see, look at the platforms, right? Instagram wants you to be logged on all the time as a viewer, as a content creator. If you don't put up enough content, will it give impetus to your profile? It will not. It will give impetus to somebody else's profile, right? Fifth is, I feel largely, you should always have positive messaging. The more positive you speak, the more good you speak, the more ill you don't speak. Maybe ranting videos do well for certain stand-up comics, but I would advise against most of our live performances to not have a positive messaging, because unlike other content creators, you guys go and meet people. You guys are there in front of people. So that affects your persona or their interaction with these people. Next is creating a niche. Like I said, Arpita creating a niche in her domain is very, very important, and sticking to it. Even if it may not get your audience immediately, it may not get you engagement immediately, but consistently putting out content and sticking to your niche. That's very, very important. For example, there's a guy called as Sarthak Ahuja who does videos on business management. For 1 year, he put out a video every day. And I used to follow him. I was maybe the 70th or 80th follower of his. For one entire year, he had 140 followers. And yet he put out 365 videos each day. And today he has followers in millions. Because the moment after the year turned and he started growing, he skyrocketed. Today he does a lot of great sessions online as well. So he was somebody who created content online and then moved into live space, where he's giving gyan, he's become sort of a coach on business coach for startups and so on and so forth. Yours is a reverse situation, but that can also happen. Second is, be consistent, but don't hard sell. Don't come across as desperate. Don't do dance videos. Topicality, yes. Hard sell, no. It's all right. It's okay to not be desperate. It's all right. कल 40 like आए थे, आज 15 आए हैं, ठीक है. But stick to your niche and keep creating content consistently. Now, what should be our communication pillars? What should you be talking about? Right? Again, very, very simple, but most people miss out on these things. You note these things down, take a screenshot, and this should work wonders for you. This works for the Prime Minister. This works for a corporate honcho. This works for a marketing professional. This works for a model, right? Your first and foremost communication pillar has to be you, your life, and your persona. As real and authentic you are, the better content you will put out. The more real the content will seem, the more easier it will be for you to create the content. If you're creating a fake persona, you will run out of ideas after 3 months because that's not you. It's not coming from within. Second is the work. Is there a past work that you've already done that you've not put out on social media? It might be 3 years ago, but you can repackage it and put it out there. It may create resonance. Future, are there any gigs that are coming up in the future? Are you promoting them enough or not? Promote brands and organizations by yourself. It may not be in your contract, but extend that olive branch online and digitally to them and put out a good post for them. Don't think you're being exploited. It's a generous gesture. It will go a long way for you. Collaborating content. Put out collaborations with fellow artists. Put out collaboration with brands and organizations. Talk about your team and your agency and mentors. Right? Talk about people who've helped you grow. Talk about people who are your tribe, who help you run your day-to-day operations. It gives you insight. It gives audience insights into the kind of person you are. It makes them feel you're a positive, grateful person. A lot of people also want to know how you've reached there. There's me so many girls who are right now wanting to be Akriti Anand. But how does one become Akriti Anand? These kind of nuggets also work. Every day you're not going to be putting up gig photos, right? How many gig photos will you put up? There's this actress, I'm forgetting her name right now, who does TVF shows. She's on Permanent Roommates also, I think. And she does a whole lot of content on books. She's a voracious reader and she's made her niche of about reading. I'll talk about it in detail as we move ahead. Last will be program-led content, festive-led content. दिवाली है, होली है, ये जेनरिक चीजें हैं. इसके लिए आपको कंटेंट बनाना जरूरी है बिकॉज इसमें टॉपिकलिटी है. प्लेटफॉर्म इज पुशिंग दैट कंटेंट, इट विल गेट यू मोर रेजोनेंस. Now, what are certain ideas which are not the most obvious ones, but which work really, really well for most artists, right? So, for example, sorry, I skipped a slide. I'm calling them boosters. So you have to have a customized persona. Akriti Anand can't be Malaika Arora. Malaika Arora can't be Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan can't be Sania Mirza. We have to be very close to our real life personalities. The differentiation can come via style of content, by the language you use. You could speak in Hindi, you could speak in a regional language. It could be content, it could be content format, and the audience that you're talking to. Now, let's say I have segmented these three things into a corporate, public sector, and entertainment. These three sort of domains that I think artists like you generally perform in, right? What kind of content would a corporate event manager or a corporate brand manager expect out of you, or would attract him when he reads that on LinkedIn? Let's say you have something about insights that I attended this meeting. These are the kind of insights I have. The kind of numbers that come from, for example, the report that I presented early on about ENY, a post about that. Any boardroom keywords, any jargon that these guys tend to use. So they know the familiarity between the artist who's performing, who's going to be hosting that event. Let's say Harsha Bogle, who brings in his sporting and cricketing references to corporate boardroom. These kind of things, these kind of words, or something that comes out of a self-help book. Short interviews, podcasts. Now there's a crossover also that can happen. You are a live performer, but you can start getting opportunities for digital content creation as well. You could go on to become a life coach. You could have an opportunity as a motivational speaker. Make sure you talk about current affairs, but not political opinions. Nobody wants to know if you love Modi ji or you hate Rahul Gandhi or vice versa. That corporate audiences want to stay away from. Somebody who's so blunt and brutal in their opinions about these things. When it comes to public sector, it can be a content about history led. It can be regional content led. These this kind of content makes the brand or the guy who's going to give you the gig feel that you have some awareness while you're being creating this content. I think somebody like Mrs. Ganjudhar is an ideal candidate. She's on top of her game, who does this bit really, really well, right? I mean, from starting out when she says Namahaste and she explains the audiences what Namahaste means. From that point till about where we end the session, she makes sure that she's bringing in a lot of history, culture, regional flavor to her presentation. What are the crossover in this particular sector that can happen? Promotional of local interests. Again, I'll give Mrs. Ganjudhar example. She wears fantastic handloom saris or silk saris at all her events. All these saris come from a particular region of India. And if she makes sure that she mentions about that particular thing. So promotional of local interests, crafts, folk music, community, anything can be a sector crossover here. And again, create a memory with the organization that you're representing. Entertainment, I think you guys are very, very well versed in what entertainment you have to do, entertainment sector you guys have to do. It's trending topics, light and engaging conversations. It could be tips and tricks, bits, BTS behind the scenes. It could be get ready with me. It could be outfit of the day. All of this content works really well. Avoid talking about, if far as possible, about food and travel, because anybody and everybody seems to be doing that. But there's a slim possibility, and may not be our intention, but there's a very good possibility of you becoming a full-time content creator or an influencer if you get this particular thing right, which can become another source of remuneration for us. Second and most important, see, when I'm giving you tips and tricks today, no, I'm not giving you tips and tricks कि आप Instagram पे ये reel 2.5 सेकंड के लिए डालो, ये पंच डालो, ये म्यूजिक करो, तो आपको रीच मिल जाएगी, because वो ऐसे काम नहीं करता. ऊपर से I'll tell you another truth. Platforms don't want you to be discovered organically. Platforms want you to pay for the ads. If brands and artists don't pay for the ads for the audience to be discovered, उनकी दुकान बंद हो जाएगी. So what is right for this 15 days? That this trending song is doing well, and if I use this hook, and if I use this hashtag, or if I use this keyword, and it'll work. After 2 months, it may not work. In fact, it may penalize you for it. The entire point of telling you is this: we can't depend on what the platform is asking you to do it today. Tomorrow, its policy will change. But what are we sure of? The content that we put out. A good content will do well across formats, right? For example, let's say there's a classic film, right? It did well in theaters, it did well on VCR and VHS, it did well on TV, it is still doing well on OTT. Irrespective of the platform, the content will keep on doing well. Similarly, when you are talking about yourself and you're creating an actual brand identity of you as an individual, you will never go wrong with that. You are not dependent on the changing egocentricities of the platform. Trending is right, trending is wrong. So you have to define the core of your social media identity. What is Akriti Anand? Akriti Anand is soft-spoken, she is confident, she comes across somebody who's great at entertainment, at corporate events. She's now maybe trying to move into the public sector. I'm just using her as an example, guys. I don't know what her future intentions are. All the praise is correct. Whatever else I speak about the future is speculative. So take it with a pinch of salt. So and you have to be your own cheerleader. If you see the graphic on the right, that trophy is yourself. You have to put yourself on the pedestal. You can't put yourself down. You can't be ashamed or embarrassed about oh, मैं कैसे करूं, मुझे तो शर्म आ रही है, मैं अपने बारे में अच्छा कैसे बोलूं, मुझे शर्म आ रही है. No, you have to champion yourself. I'm not saying be vain. I'm not saying be pompous. I'm not saying go on tom-tomming about yourself, but position yourself as a person who knows what he or she is doing. Put yourself out there. Don't be embarrassed. मैं reel कैसे करूं, मैं कैसे बात करूं, what will that person say, all of that. Don't take yourself too seriously. You're not the president of India. You're not the president of America. He also does not take himself seriously, Mr. Trump. So why are you taking yourself so much seriously, right? Do your bit and put yourself out there. You never know which content piece might work. You ask me, I've been doing this for 16 years now. But if you ask me if this content will do well or not, I can't give you a guarantee. If that formula was cracked, everybody would be doing that, right? And the moment everybody starts doing it, it goes for a toss. Knowing that I have to put out content every day, but each piece of content will not go viral. Each piece of content will not get me 500 likes. So you still have to put your head down and create content and have a sense of humor, boss. A very caustic comment might come, a sarcastic comment might come. Take it with a pinch of salt. Laugh at it, engage with it. It'll only make your personality more appealing to your audiences. Passion and hobby. Don't just talk about your job. Don't just keep on talking about, uh, I did this gig, had fun, this brand gave me this bag. Oh, great, I'm wearing this person's clothes. So great. And go back home. Don't do that. Engage with your audience. Respect that time. Respect the effort they've taken in following you. So you could have a passion. It could be about cats. It could be cars. It could be makeup. It could be a relationship. Maybe you love your dad. Maybe your dad becomes a feature in your content. Maybe it's your boyfriend. Maybe it's a girlfriend. Maybe, like I said, that this actress who does a lot of shows keeps on talking about books that she keeps on reading and recommending. Like I said, please avoid travel and food unless it's absolutely necessary, because everybody is talking about wanderlust, food porn, right? So it's becoming mundane. People want to discover your personality beyond your work, right? There's a term a lot of us in journalism use. It's called editor's rain. There are times when the editor does not have a story to fill in a particular paragraph. He writes about rain. आज बहुत बारिश हुई, आज बारिश नहीं हुई, अगले साल इतनी बारिश होने वाली है, पिछले साल बारिश इतनी हुई थी. This is editor's rain. So this content becomes your filling up piece when you're making content buckets. It's a no-brainer. Anywhere, everywhere, whichever format you're doing videos. You call them reels, you call them YouTube shorts, you call them 16:9 videos, long format videos, short format videos, podcasts which were supposed to be audio have become video. Anything and everything is a video. Please make videos. Please post videos. Purely by selection of this format, you grow. Now, does that mean every day 365 days videos you'll put out? No. You can also put out a carousel. You should put out some static photographs or static creative, so on and so forth. But 80% of your content has to be videos now. Brands and have discovered, and platforms as well, have discovered that this is a great format, right? Given the fact that you guys are artists, live artists, you have a great advantage over everybody else because you guys are not afraid to perform. You guys are doing a great job of this. That's why you're getting gigs. That's why you're out there. And making a video of this is also not a great challenge for you, right? And putting that out should also not be there because you're already being judged by the audiences. So that inhibition that a normal content creator might have to begin with, that you guys don't have. So it's a great advantage for people in the live sector who are performers. Secondly, once you make a video, let's say of a minute, you can repurpose it into 20 seconds ka 3 reels, right? So there's another content pieces that are coming out of this, which may not happen in a static post. So please, I emphasize that it's a more sought after format, and we keep on doing that. Cause marketing, right? How corporates have CSR, every individual should have a cause marketing who's online. Align yourself with a social cause that is closer to your heart. For Akriti, it could be, I don't know, maybe old age care. It could be looking after children's nutrition. Align yourself with it. Reach out to an NGO, offer them your help, saying that I will put out content, I will come to your events, pro bono, all so that you can get some content that you can post online and let people know that you are humane. People want to see people whom they follow, whom they look up to do good. And brand managers and event managers love it, right? Like I work extensively with an organization called as Akshay Patra. Akshay Patra is the world's largest midday meal program. They feed 22 lakh children every day. I make it a point to speak about them in each of the sessions that I do, because as client, this is my CSR. This is my way of making sure that they get the requisite donation. They get the requisite this because the number is growing. Their goal is to reach 3 million. It's my bit to do that. And
wow, that is such a great presentation, and I want to hear you like the whole day, because every time you speak, you are shedding nuggets of knowledge and wisdom, which are truly helpful. But it is really unfortunate that we have a constraint of the time limit and we'll have to end it here. But Nikhil, thank you so much for that great presentation. You actually enlightened all of us with all these nuggets of knowledge, and I feel truly humbled to be used as an example in your talk. Thank you so much. Nikhil, we do have many questions for you. Since we have a little constraint of the time, I would request everybody who's watching to please note Nikhil's Instagram handle. And you can, Nikhil, I'm taking the permission that people can ask you the questions directly on your DM. Okay, you can ask your questions directly to DM Nikhil and ask the questions. Thank you so much. And Nikhil, I have many questions which I'm going to reach out to you now with all of them.
Feel free.
So every viewer who's watching, thank you so much for dropping your questions. We have noted those questions and we would try to answer them in our next sessions. Now, coming up next, it's time for the panel discussion. Welcome to the highlight of this evening, the power panel on the topic, Climbing the Social Ladder, How Visibility Fuels Opportunity. In a world where your digital presence often speaks before you do, the panel brings together voices that don't just understand the game, they are changing it. Let me introduce all of you to the fabulous panel present with us. First up, Rahi S., Director of BOI Experiences. She's been instrumental in creating some of India's most talked about event IPs, from managing high-stake production to championing fresh talent. Rahi knows exactly how artists can rise, not just through talent, but by building presence and perception. She brings to the panel a sharp eye for what the industry looks for while scouting performers in today's content-driven world. Joining her is Amit Gupta, a true industry veteran and name that commands respect. He's been behind the scenes of some of the most memorable live experiences in India, but today he's here to talk about something we don't often discuss: how misuse of social media can derail careers and how intentional use can skyrocket you. Expect some real talk, real stories, and some tough love from Amit. And moderating this power-packed session is someone who knows both sides of the stages and the screen, Natasha. She's not only the best MC winner, but also a global speaker who represented India on platforms like BBC Breakfast Show and British Council UK. So, my dear friends, let's kickstart this power-packed panel discussion presenting Climbing the Social Ladder. Welcome, Amit, Rahi, and Natasha. Wow, the panel looks really good. Over to you, Natasha. Take it on and bring us some knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ankriti. Wonderful. It's been an absolute pleasure listening to every single one of you. DB, Akriti, Nikhil, what a fantastic presentation. This is something that we artists would love to listen to. So now, as we have listened to what Nikhil has said, and we have an expert panel here to answer all your questions related to climbing up that social leader for corporate events, social events, whatever is your forte, let's see how the social ladder can definitely help you. But before that, we all know that we live and thrive in an industry built on moments that disappear. Social media gives us the power to make those moments last and work for us long after the event ends. With over 4.8 billion people using social media worldwide, it's clear that these platforms shape not only how we connect, but also how we are discovered. In the live experiential industry, where work often happens behind the scenes, your digital presence can just be as important as your physical one. We spent weeks, months planning a 3-day event, and within seconds, the audience just posted online. But what about us, the creators, the producers, the techs, the visionaries, and our event managers? How do we make sure that our work and our roles don't go just unnoticed in that scroll? And that's what we are unpacking today. Live events are magic, fleeting, no doubt, immersive, unforgettable. But those of us behind the magic, how do we ensure that our careers are just as fleeting? Social media is more than a highlight reel, it's a career accelerator, and let's talk about how to use it intentionally to grow, connect, and stand out. Today, we are exploring how social platforms are no longer just about promotions, but they are just powerful tools for building careers, networks, and visibility in the live experiential industry. Now, let's deep down into how we can turn our scrolls into strategic steps forward in our careers. Joining us today, we have two expert panelists. Raki from BOI, and Amit Gupta from Story Experiences. So quickly, we'll ask Raki what she has to share from her experience and expertise. Raki, if you could just kindly start.
So, hi everyone. Firstly, let me say that Nikhil actually did a fantastic job before the panelists come on board, because I think he has spoken about everything that we would have covered in our subject matter. So I think I'll tell Amit also, I think we should directly go into questions, because I think he really
I agree.
answered everything which from an artist industry point of view would want to know how they need to behave, what they need to write, what they need to, how they need to conduct. So I think we can straight dive into our Q&A, so that we can then take some questions as well. Yeah,
Definitely.
Natasha.
Amit, are we good to go with the Q&A?
Yes, yes.
I'll ask one question. Okay,
Let's
so
do
I'll
that.
shoot the first question to Raki also first. So Raki, we all know that context and content both are key. How do we set the right content with the right context? And if you could just elaborate that with an example, that would be great.
Yeah, so I'll repeat that Nikhil had actually spoken a lot on content, how the content needs to be, what type of content you need to be. Now, I need to just deep dive here on one particular thing, that in social media platform, for from an artist community standpoint, the context becomes very, very crucial. Contextual setting is very important. When I say contextual setting, one is, who's your audience? Is it your customers, that is your event managers and brand, or is it your fan following? It's very important what type of context you are trying to deliver. In a very nutshell, if you are not aware by a event, because we are talking today only purely to live event industry, so we are going to stick to that only. If you're talking to a live event industry team, then the context needs to be towards that. I, as an event manager, wouldn't want to know your social space. We would like to know if you're doing something which is very interesting and relevant for engaging you for our clients, that resonates for the client, that okay, this particular artist will be very interesting to come on board and do what we want him or her to do. So context in this scenario is becomes a king. So for me, content usually is a king. That's usually a saying. Content becomes a very critical part. But in social media, for artists fraternity, contextual setting is the king, is what I would say. You need to be very clear in your communication. What is your target audience? Who are you targeting to? So if there is 8,000 or 10,000 event managers and that's your target audience, and not 1 lakh followers, your context setting should be to those 10,000 event managers in India. That, or for example, if you're regional based, then you're talking to your 500 event managers who are going to be engaging you for various stuff. So it's very important what type of context setting you do. For example, if I am a DJ, or for that matter, I am an anchor for that matter. Let me take a DJ example. If I'm a DJ and I am wanting to showcase my credential on social media, usually DJs have a scenario of just playing some music in the background, and then they are playing the music. That's how they say, and say they write, available for wedding bookings or corporate events. It does not excite me, because I wouldn't know the genre. I wouldn't know what kind of a portfolio he belongs to. I would be interested if he is more particular by making some content around, say, if he is exclusive for a wedding. So he gives, he talks about larger than life wedding in India, or how wedding industry works, puts a little content around, then puts some music saying, I exclude, my music is very cool when it comes to Bollywood, some kind of a nice context setting, and where he promotes that. That is also important. Now, if it's going to be Instagram, it needs to be quirky fast, because I don't have beyond 10-15 seconds to see it. If it's LinkedIn, it is very different. So also depends on where he is posting it. So it's very important that the context that the artist puts needs to be relevant, and relevant to his target audience. So yeah.
I agree.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for answering our first question, Ragi. And I think the example that you have showed us shows more light on the question and the answer that you have have shared. All right, quickly moving to Amit Gupta. So, as we all know, he's the founder and director of Story Experiences. So, Amit, ready for your first question?
Yes, please.
All right. So, Amit, there's a personal life stories, and on the other side, we have the professional life content. Now, which one of these has a greater potential to reach the right target audience, and how do we set the right balance between posting our personal content versus professional content without appearing too desperate?
Okay. So I personally feel that both are equally important. And why, I'll tell you. Professionally, we and our customers need to know what are you doing, when are you doing, and how are you doing. For example, there are different types of events that you organize. An awards night might need a higher tempo. So, are you able to bring that energy up? How are you engaging people? Probably a very suave and elegant event might need a very, elegant voice. And are you able to conduct that as well? How much are you able to get inside the audience, depending on the event? So, how are you doing is very, very critical. So, that's the professional side. Personally, a lot of customers ask us that, does the MC matches our brand vibes? For example, if an MC is talking about cars or vehicles on Instagram or anywhere, and they talk about how they love, or they talk about what they find good in that, so maybe you can get better preference with an automobile brand. Similarly, if you love food, so and you're talking about food, so at least the customer knows that they understand what our product or industry is, so you get that preference there. So a lot of your personal life adds a lot of relevance to the brand connect. But again, the desperation should not be there. It should be nice, real, raw, the way you are. That's it. It's very simple.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for answering that, Ahmed. All right. So, Raki, now coming back to you. So, you have briefly touched upon different social media handles like LinkedIn, Instagram in your first answer. So, I'm coming back to that again. How do we differentiate our LinkedIn and Instagram profiles and clearly demarcate and set boundaries from each other?
See, I'll elaborate that further. See, firstly, there are a couple of social media platforms, like how Nikhil said. Now, again, it depends on your target audience. If you are aiming to increase your social media, have more subscribers, you're a storyteller, so you create a more channel of yours and you create more content around it. When you are on Instagram, it needs to be quick because it's got a very short span. But there, like how Amit is saying, you can showcase your work-life balance. You can showcase your real life and you can showcase your real life, like how you do your work, but in a very interesting and a quirky or a very innovative way. When you're on LinkedIn, I believe LinkedIn is more from insight, point of view. You need to give more knowledge centric. You can't be very fun on LinkedIn. That's how the perception is also. I mean, that's how it's defined, that if you're in LinkedIn, you can't talk very, very casual on LinkedIn because you have clients, corporate, everybody's talking very intellect. When it comes to Facebook, I think now Facebook is more become like remembering your birth dates, more than showcasing your thing. But if I look at Instagram and LinkedIn, which is mostly followed and where people are more there in our industry per se, I feel your content should be very, very different. Because I'll give you a classic example. I don't know whether you're knowing. Sunil Shetty is there on LinkedIn. Sunil Shetty is also there on Instagram. If you see his post, I mean, okay, he might be a celebrity, so he speaks two different languages. On LinkedIn, he's an entrepreneur. Okay, he connects and he talks about his investments, how he is as an entrepreneur, how he connects with his, as investor. But when it comes to his social media, which is Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, his language is very different. Now, okay, he's a celebrity, he can do that. I will take example from our industry, I mean, from the artist fraternity. You see Siddharth Kanan, anchor. Now you see his portfolio. It comes to LinkedIn, he's a is very serious, very thing. When it comes to Instagram, it's podcast. He talks little fun. He gets into his personal space. So I'm taking names here so that maybe people can also go and probably check those sites. This gives them there is a differentiator. Take Gitika Ganju, correctly how even Nikhil said. Her LinkedIn profile is very, very relevant to who she wants to connect to, what she wants to showcase, how she wants to showcase. It's very important you demarcate your portfolios in what platform you're putting. Whether you're putting on Instagram, see TikTok, I would not. I mean, Snapchat, I will say no, because I don't think our industry people who are actually the decision makers are going to be there on Snapchat. Snapchat is more young. Yes, at times it does work because there are young generation who are on Snapchat who might just see you and probably say, hey, why not, she's very quirky, let's use that particular artist. But it's Instagram, it's Facebook, and it's LinkedIn where you've been seen a lot. What kind of content you put there, which is again very, very context driven, and how consistently you're doing that. It can't be that you're putting a post a week or a month, and then the post changes, because when you see your storyboard, it needs to have a great storyline there. I can't have a mix of everything, because if I am connecting you on social media and I'm seeing your portfolio on social media, I want to see you the way you are. Exactly what Amit is saying, we need to see you as a person. But if you start becoming very hyper about it, and it's a very thin line between cheesy and cheap. You need to have, you can't be both. You need to be smart in what you are trying to say and deliver. So I don't want an anchor to show I'm eating an ice cream in Istanbul while I'm come for an event here. I don't think that's what we want to see. How innovatively, how differently that anchor is doing that in that event, probably some content which is very, very different than what he or she has done, or an artist who, or a performer has curated something different which excites us to say, okay, this is something you can do it for our event, is what we would like to see, rather than seeing their personal space where, yes, you need to have maybe to understand and gauge the personality of the person that is getting engaged. But again, you need to know what you're putting on the content in both the sides, whether it's serious on LinkedIn or on Instagram, if it's fun and business both.
Oh, wonderful, Ragi. This question has been in my mind for so long. Clearly, you have elaborated at how LinkedIn is different from Instagram. Thank you so much, Ragi. Now, let's come back to Amit again. So, Amit, I think this question is something that's actually a follow-up from Ragi's answer. So, she spoke about posting on LinkedIn, being consistent there, Instagram, Facebook, different personas everywhere, different content, different styles. It's a daunting task. How difficult is it to handle social media, and how do we know that if we're doing the right thing? And what more should we be doing to make the best use of social media? Over to you.
Right. Honestly, a lot of people think that social media is very difficult because you have to do things and you are trying to match someone, some benchmarking, some person. So picking up someone like Kitika or someone else would might just get you into a lot of pressure in terms of, oh my God, I have to do all of this. But honestly, what I understand about social media is a mirror of you. It's your true self. So do what comes naturally to you. Because any which ways, if you're trying to create a benchmark and there's a lot of pretense, then that pretense is not sustainable. Nikhil also said that. So real content, raw content really works very well. I would give you a very funny example of overdoing. I've seen some artists showcasing their photograph and saying, live in Kuala Lumpur show for a corporate. Now, what do I do with that? Now, this shows desperation that, oh, I want to show that I'm in Kuala Lumpur. But no, we don't want to see that. We want to see what you've done, how interesting were you there? Did you innovate anything? Everyone knows how to talk amongst the artist community who goes on the dice and talk. How well do you do it? So we want to see how you do that. That's very important. So honestly, it's very simple. Just post what you really do. Even if you feel it's not great, it's fine. There is a journey. It's a long term. So everyday social media is like sowing a bamboo tree, seed. It might just shoot up anytime. Like Nikhil also said, that person was putting up those videos for a long time and suddenly he became a coach. So it takes time, but I think it's very simple. Just post what you are really doing. Number one. Number two, how do you know if you are doing it right? Are you getting calls through the videos that you've posted? Yes, no. If no, then probably some more things needs to be done. Maybe your posts are a bit boring. Just them a bit. Add more real content. And if you're getting calls through your videos, you're getting references. Great, you're doing very good. Third question: how can we do it more better? One very big thing that we miss out is while we post the content of our event there, we probably might not have all the right audience. Just getting the EEMA agency owners or maybe few agency owners to have you as your follower doesn't work, because all of us have at least 10 account managers under us who are managing those customers and those projects. They put the profiles on the presentation. We don't. They push to a customer that, listen, this MC for this type of event will work very well. And these are the links. Please go and check. Very, very simple calculation of maybe 100 EMA agencies into maybe 8 or 7 account managers. So 100 into 7, what? 700, 800 people. Do you have those relevant people following you? If not, then however brilliant content you put, it doesn't work, because you are putting content, but the right people are not watching it. Yeah. So it's very important that go out and meet people, go to the agencies. Why not? You're traveling to Kolkata for an event, go out and fix up meetings. Why, just don't show off. I'm eating Rasgulla here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Instead of that, go out and meet an agency there. Tell them what you're doing, showcase all your videos. There are so many newer agencies. Last time I was at WOW and I was honestly shocked to see so many new names. I have not heard about them. I think post-COVID, the entire scenario of our industry has changed. Last time, Viraf was also saying the same thing at the Spotlight Awards, that how our industry has changed. Honestly, I don't know how many agencies, how many new people have come up. So it's very important that we go meet them and they should be following us. And that's how your content, your good content, will at least get that productivity out. So number one, it is simple to post on social media, just be real. Number two, if you're not getting queries through social media, then you need to be do a bit more and more relevant. And third, reach out to the right people. Go meet them, because then they will see you on the video. So these are the answers. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for summarizing it, Amit. So I think we are all going to straight away book our tickets for the Imagine event happening in August, so that we put our real faces out there. All right. So moving on to the last question for Raki on my list is going to be all about consent. So Raki, how crucial do you think consent from the event agency or the brand regarding posting their event content on social media? And what do you think are the precautions required when choosing the tags and the hashtags?
Yeah, very, very important. Natasha, especially if you're working with corporate. I heard Nikhil actually mentioning that, take that extra effort and go ahead and collaborate with the brand, or give that extra. If you have great followers, and do that extra talking and promoting the event. See, it totally depends on event to event. And very importantly, the client that you're end client that you're working on. It's very important that the agency that has engaged you is aware of what type of posting that you're going to do on the social media. You cannot, and this I would say loudly, that you cannot take random pictures which has a very, very, sensitive information, sensitive imagery, because there are leaders that are there in the event. There are very, very important information, because there might be chances that in your excitement you've taken a picture sitting next to the stage, and the MD is doing a presentation, and you've done a selfie. There is some information which the client didn't wanted it to come out, because those are very, very confidential information. Without the agency's knowledge, it's been posted and also tagged to client. In a situation like this, most of the time when you work with corporate client, this is purely for corporate client, the agencies sign huge NDAs, and these NDAs are so rigid that the agency literally can shut shop, because if the client really sues the agency, it goes into very, very bad situation. A smaller artist or an artist fraternity, in the excitement, would not understand the perils that an agency will go into. So it's very important whenever there is a content being shared on social media that you want to showcase, either it has been given by the agency to you with their consensus, or you showcase them that what you're going to put. My advice would be that it should be more towards, maybe, like I said, context is very important. So what you have done unique in that event, maybe you take that effort of making a small clip showing to the agency that this is what I'm putting and this is what I'm tagging. There is a lot of chances that the client doesn't want to show that event at all in the social media. Why? Because it's got a lot of parameters. It's an internal event. It is a high leadership event. It is only meant for 25 top bosses who have gone to another island and doing a very exclusive stuff, and you've been hired for that to do another exclusive stuff. You're not supposed to post it anywhere. In fact, the agency can't use that footage at all. There are times where client come back and actually on the day itself or the next day they tell us to delete all the content, including the photographs, videos of the show, and it shouldn't be in any social media. I have a lot of clients like that who come back right to us immediately after the event to give them proof that are not only us but even our partners, that is all the vendors, on their system, whatever is that needs to be deleted, and we have to give it in writing. Even after signing an NDA, there is a process like this that happens after the event where the client comes and tells us to follow these compliances. So it's very important, and social media it's very viral, right? Anything good, bad, ugly can happen via social media. For example, if you're working with a pharmaceutical company, you're talking about a drug and you say you launched something, client doesn't want to do that, and you have posted that, and there are a lot of repercussions in that as well. So there is chances that the client doesn't want to do it and you've done it, and it becomes a huge scenario. So it's a big no. If you are tagging or you're writing something and the agency is not aware, you are not supposed to put that social media. Yes, you can put the team, you can, it's a backstage moment, it's an off stage moment, you're with the event manager and you're hugging and telling that it was a great show. Perfect. But even in that content, you cannot tag the end client. Lot of times it has happened that the picture is with the entire agency, with the crew that is working. The artist is loving to take a picture, but the tagging is to the end client. Tag the agency. I mean, give the credit to the agency, it's fine, but don't tag the end client if it's not been given an okay to. Lot of time the content has been called and told to withdraw because it does not want to be promoted. This is only from a corporate standpoint. Yes, social media, I mean, social weddings, social events might work differently. There also maybe a wedding guy does not want to show how elaborate he is splurging on the wedding. So there are chances even in that space. So it's very important that whatever you showcase, because probably a wedding is of some very prominent personality, he does not want to show what he is in his personal space. I'm talking from a person who's from a political background, from a corporate background. In his personal space, he does not want to show. I'll give you an example of Arvind Kejriwal. His dance, his Sangeet dancing video, it became viral. I mean, it was he wasn't portrayed in the past the way he was shown and then trolled of how he was dancing in his own wedding. It's such a not a great thing to do, but somebody did that. So it's a very sensitive area where what we put on the content, especially the artist fraternity, needs to be very looked after. Yeah. I think even Amit would like to add over here because we discussed this. That's very thin line. We should not do that. It's very risky for agencies.
No, I agree. You already elaborated it, right?
Yeah.
We also had faced it multiple times. We had
Yeah.
to go back to the artist and tell them, please, ye hatao, jaldi. And so we work with very selective customers. And as you rightly said, we have, we run into like 100 pages of agreement. But it's there at times desperation can get us into despair. So
Yes.
I agree with you completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Raki, and thank you, Amit, for adding that to our little did we artists know about all these 100 pages of NDA that you people go through. And then we might just unconsciously put out something there that can put both us and yourself in trouble. So I believe that all the MCs, all the artists watching it right now, consent is everything. Promotions are fine, but be ethically promoting yourself. I think that I can add, I can take that a liberty of adding that to your answer, Raki. Coming to the last question for Amit on my list is, so Amit, we know that social media is a space where a person's credibility is very directly proportional to the number of followers. I think Akriti has mentioned about in her beginning intro. So do you really think that the number of followers actually matter? Should artists like ourselves use strategies adopted by these so-called social media influencers, the viral content creators? And do you think that running ads and paid promotions really help?
Firstly, I want to bring back ourselves to the fact that we're all here and we are all living for something that we really wish to do. And I'm assuming that the artists are all doing something passionately that comes from their heart. Now, while they're doing all of this, yes, some promotion is required, but social media is not our life. It is a means to promote so that we get business. Okay. Now, over that, if we start dying for likes or followers, doesn't matter. In fact, for us, we are completely into B2B space. Unless you become a singer or an artist, you want to become like a very big singer, then it's different. But I'm majorly talking about, artists like MCs and all who are doing majorly into event space. None of my customers, or I've never heard a customer asking kitne followers hai iske. Never. They just want to see what you're doing, how beautifully you're doing it very well, and how impactful you are. मेरे brand को handle कर पाओगे नहीं कर पाओगे, मेरे audience को relate कर पाओगे नहीं कर पाओगे. I've never had anyone questioning these followers or like. So I don't think we should fall into this whole of likes say followers say. I don't think. And let's be organic. Let's be real. As I said, meet people, do some tagging with them, let them follow. And our TG should be, the artist TG should be all these project managers, production guys, operation agency owners, all of them. Yes, clients, why not if they're willing to follow you? So that works. I don't think we should fall into this trap at all.
Wonderful. I think, Amit, you're a huge follower of be real, be authentic, be the real person out there. I think that's what you're trying to conclude by everything that you have mentioned during the whole panel discussion. All right. So I think that comes to the end of the questions that I've got for you guys. But we have our audiences who are waiting to hear from you, and they got questions from their end as well. So I'll just quickly start with our first question from our audience. So Aditya Malik, that's a question he got. How do we manage consistency as an artist? Either Raki or Amit, any one of you could just take up on that question once again. How do we manage consistency as an artist?
Raki?
Yeah, sure. So, see, firstly, a good question actually, because I want to cover in one of the answers as well. You need to show, when you're showing consistency, firstly, it needs to be like I always said, that it can't be that you put one post today and then there is a one post after a month, and agar aap dikhoge nahi to you're not on top of anybody's mind if you're not being seen. Secondly, you need to show some evolvement, how you've evolved over the years. It's very important. It can't be same monotonous that I'm an anchor and I'm coming and saying, hey, what's up, raise your hand in the air. That's not what we want to see. We definitely want to see as an anchor or as even a choreographer how you have evolved. For example, you see the journey of Terence. Terence 20 years ago was a dancer who became a choreographer, and today he also does storytelling in his dancing form and on stage as a speaker. So he has evolved over the years. You need to also show how you're evolving as an artist. So your content that you put needs to show variation. It can't be the same thing. You can't just show that today I am in Kuala Lumpur, today I am in Taiwan, today I am in Delhi doing an event. We'd like to see what you have done new in these locations, which is different from what you've done past. So there has to be content made which is different, but keeping your consistency of what you do. What is your what are you good at? But you have to you need to evolve, otherwise it doesn't work.
Amit, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, so I would say consistency to each is his or her own. For someone, every day would be consistent. For someone, few days in a week would be consistent. As I said, post as per your own. Don't get stuck in any race anywhere. Just keep posting. If you have content, post. You can do
Yeah.
some haters rain. I don't know if Nikhil might kill me after this session because I'm probably talking anti this, but I mean, you have content, post. Great. I
Do you think that posting daily helps, or is there a set guidelines like weekly ones, monthly ones,
I
daily
don't think
ones?
posting daily helps because see when we go on an artist Instagram, we just swivel through the reels and post ki, and we'll just see 4 5 videos of events and we'll send them to the client. Yeah, ye acha kiya hai. You know, we really can't go through all of them. It's too much for us. So relevant content is more important than bombarding too much content. I think so.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you, on answering that. So we have one more question. I believe this is an artist who majorly focus on corporate events. So Saitya, not too sure. She wants to know which platform plays a major role for someone specializing in corporate events, for corporate events.
Sorry, right.
Yeah, go ahead, Amit.
I was saying it depends. If you are comfortable with the client and client is comfortable, then I would say start off with LinkedIn always. Post your work on LinkedIn. Some stills, write about the event, write about what innovation you did in that event in short lines, and then and tag the agencies and thank the agencies as well. I've seen a couple of artists, they do it beautifully well, really, really well. I don't know if yeah, so probably I mean we can take Mithin's example. I've seen his posts, they're done very well, good courtesy, good gratitude, good information about the event, everything, and everyone is highlighted there. So I like that, and a lot more artists do that. So LinkedIn for sure, and then yes, because LinkedIn might not get you with too many videos there, so videos have to go on Insta, some fun thing on Insta, so that as well. So, but LinkedIn for sure as a hygiene because you can get much more exposure there in terms of the brands.
Business.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a B2B standpoint, if you ask me, LinkedIn works well because you get your audience correct. But said that, Insta also plays an important role, like how Amit said, the next guys who are actually the decision guys and who are the ones who are presenting, they are all on Instagram. And if you don't have Instagram stories and your entire reel, that also it impacts. So you need to have balance on both the sides. I would say there needs to be an Insta story as well, with a nice post. Your post needs to be consistent. Your stories can go after 24 hours, but if your post is there, because usually what happens is when you go to a profile of a artist, you actually scroll down the last 5 posts. And in LinkedIn, it's the same way, but in LinkedIn it's little difficult to go see your post. You will really go in, you divulge into the person's profile. Insta, it's easy. So you need to really balance your content when it comes to Instagram. Your post needs to be, there needs to be a common look so that you know this is how you are. And then of course in stories you can make it as interesting and quirky, but both play an important role because both have different audience that we're talking, but both are for the event industry. So you need to be in both the platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I could add to it saying that LinkedIn probably would be more of promotion and Insta becomes your portfolio because all your content is there where we can go and see it, refer to it every time.
Should also have YouTube. I mean, because you see, Insta mein the problem is the reels are shorter. Your storytelling can happen very beautifully on YouTube channel. So if you have a YouTube channel and you just want to give your YouTube channel for our agency to go through, that also works very beautifully because there you can talk a lot. You can again narrate a beautiful, way in terms of video content. You can make short stories on you. So even if you're traveling and you want to make a story on traveling, that this is what I did and this was my 3 days event, and so you can make a beautiful stuff on YouTube channel as well. So these are the
I,
platforms, yeah, that you
I
can.
agree. This is very recent. I'll just take a minute more. We're talking to a client and there's a show up in New Zealand and we were promoting 3 MCs there and one of the MCs the client liked, she did not have a YouTube video. Like her most recent video was of 5 years old, and client was like, "Can I see a recent one, please?"
Yeah.
And she doesn't have. So, and so she's actually losing down there. we need to give the recent video. So client is considering people who have recent videos.
Yeah.
While I know she's very good.
Sorry, a lot of artists also believe that if they have arrived, they don't want to have videos. But there are a
Yeah.
lot of clients which are new coming up, they want to see before they confirm. You need to have your latest work to be showcased every time, because if you don't showcase what you're trying to sell, it doesn't work. And like Amit correctly said, you can't have 5 years old, because probably 5 years old you looked also different. Now you look very different, and that's exactly what's happened with most of us at some time, that you've engaged somebody and right now the person looks completely different. So that also matters.
Yep.
Right, right. Thank you so much. That's been very elaborate. But just one last thing, a corporate MC myself, my biggest question is it right to say that posting photos on Instagram works better and posting videos on, posting videos on Instagram works better and posting photos on LinkedIn works better? Do you guys agree to that? Right. Yeah. So,
Yes.
so thumbs. Okay, so point to note. And we have interesting questions from our audiences flowing in. So, Amit, this is for you from Neha. So, in this world of chase and competition, how one keeps up with being who they are? Referring to the question Natasha asked about paid services, you often need it to be seen. How do we cope up with that? This is for you, Amit.
Yeah, I think it depends on how grounded you keep every day, how much you are in touch with your own self every day. So if you get swayed away with too much happening around you in the world of pretense, you really get swayed away. But you've also connected with your own self every day with the means of, I'm sorry, I'm in that side of the world. So with the means of meditation and some me time that you spend with yourself, then you know the right balance between what I am, what I want to do, how I want to do, versus how the world looks like. And I really want to be racing all the time? That balance. This is how you can balance yourself. And I again say it's very important to figure out what you really want to do and then chase your inner calling than the pretense world calling.
Amit, I believe that you are a person of believing whatever your intuition says, just go for it. Okay, I think we're going to the another question, which is more getting into the details and more technical. So whoever is an expert on this can answer that. This is a question from Priyanka. We primarily create content in vertical format for Instagram, but some agencies and clients still request YouTube links. What's the best way to manage both formats efficiently without losing track or doubling the workload? This is a bit technical, I believe.
I'm fine with any format is fine.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, as far as you're giving something which is relevant, it needs to be relevant eventually, whatever format you put.
जिसको सेलेक्ट करना होगा वो वर्टिकल देख के भी सेलेक्ट कर लेगा जरूरी नहीं कि हॉरिजॉन्टल दोगे तो ही सेलेक्ट होगा सॉरी आई डिडंट इट्स फनी.
All right, I believe Priyanka and Neha has got the answers that we're looking for. And if you have any more questions, definitely, can I take the liberty of saying that Amit and Raki are always reachable on Instagram or LinkedIn so that people can get in touch with you and questions directly if they have any?
You already said that.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Okay, so I think we don't have any further questions. And with that, I will close the panel discussions. But I know that Akriti has a long list of gratitude to both of you guys. But personally, Raki and Amit, you've been absolutely fantastic answering all those questions, taking the time, doing your homework, doing your research. And please get in touch with both of them if you have any further questions. Akriti, with this, I'll close the panel discussion. If you want to take it forward, please do it.
Oh my God, what a fantastic session. Insightful, honest, practical, and most importantly, real. Thank you so much, Rahi and Amit and Natasha, for moderating that session. Fantastic session. Truly shared your wisdom and insights for all of us. Now, before we wrap, I want to take a moment and express our heartfelt gratitude. First up, a big thanks to Mr. D.B. Vinod, our VP South, who has been the driving force behind expanding the EEMA artist family in the South. So, your passion for uplifting this community and building a stronger ecosystem for artists across the country truly inspires us. To our amazing panelists, Rahi, Amit, and our brilliant moderator, Nikhil, for sharing that insightful presentation. Thank you all for your time, your truth, and for sharing the stories that we are both relatable and eye-opening. Thank you, Geetika, for looping me in to host the show. And of course, to the powerhouse behind this initiative, the EEMA artist community and the EEMA Secretariat. for organizing this fantastic upskilling series. This is what real community building looks like. And if you're an artist or an event professional watching this, this is your cue to join EEMA. It's more than a network, it's a family, a movement. My dear audience, please remember to fill the feedback form. Arpita will be sharing it in the Harmony group. And to remind you all, we have 3 more upskilling sessions coming up in the month of June and July. So stay tuned, more knowledge to be shared in all of them. Now, before we log off, I am leaving you all with one actionable plan and one quote to live by. First up, the actionable plan. Tonight, in the evening or in the night, yes, tonight, pick up one piece of content, a behind the scene of a moment, a client testimonial, a snippet from your last take, just anything. Post it. Don't overthink, just show up. Because consistency beats perfection every time. And a quote to remember is you can either let people make up your stories or you can tell it yourself. Veerdar said that, and I'm sure it is going to be impactful for most of you. So go out there, take control of your narrative, and let the world see the amazing talent that you are, both on stage and online. This is me, your host Akriti Anand, now signing off. Until next time, keep climbing, keep shining, keep showing up. Thank you so much, and have a great day.